So here we are, Chocobo Dungeon 1, or Chocobo's Mystic Dungeon, or Magic Dungeon, well, I would assume it's Magic Dungeon. Anyway, in case you didn't really realize it, at least I would assume that just the story is simply the crystal has corrupted the villager, and now the villager is probably going to not be very nice to us now. Very cute, Chocobo. Sprites certainly don't look as... ugh. There's a jagginess to Chocobo running now. Sprites certainly don't look as good as they are in the sequel. Yep. Saw it coming. Actually, what villager keeps a dungeon in their house? Okay, I'm sure we're gonna go for a tutorial here. Yeah. In case you're not familiar with Magic Dungeon games, usually you just have random generated dungeons and you collect items, and in a turn-based system you fight shit you run into. Not really too complicated to understand, but certainly varying on which type of Magic Dungeon games you're playing can be certainly incredibly hard sometimes, or very simplistic. I'd say Chocobo Dungeon 2, which I have been, was kind of in the middle. Not too easy, but also offered a pretty good challenge. The Wii version, I think, is very easy because it allows you to keep your levels. And a teleport card. Okay. Guess don't get to actually play in a tutorial, so it kinda sucks if this is your first Magic Dungeon game and you don't understand a single thing that's being said. Yeah, I would advise playing Chocobo Dungeon 2, or at least some kind of Magic Dungeon game prior to trying to play this with no Japanese knowledge. And yes, in case you're curious, this is my very first time playing this. So I have no real idea what I'm doing in Chocobo Dungeon 1. Anything I can guess or know is from Chocobo Dungeon 2. Nothing this way. That's a bit odd, actually. Chocobo 1, I don't remember running around town being controlled like the dungeon until you enter the building. Town is actually set up like the grid of a dungeon. So let's see. Chocobo music. Obviously your home base. Honest. Haha. I wonder who gets a soft bid. I either can't save now or this isn't where I save. Nothing. Certainly I have storage here, right? So let's just explore the town. Get all the highs and mighs out of the way. Hi, sir. Welcome to my humble home. Do you know what I do here? Because certainly I don't. Let's see. When did this came out? A second here. Tilt hit. And it don't look like these two do anything. Nothing here yet. Looks like it's a shop. Looks like another type of shop and kicking away into a story event. And that Chocobo looks awfully ghoulish. I mean, you'd think the flower would be enough, but good lord, the feathers look like hair, like a pony. It's like, looks half pony, half boar. It looks kind of weird, actually. So anyway, here we are. Chocobo Dungeon 1 came out in December 23rd, 1997, Japan. And it's also on the Wonder Swan. I didn't actually know that. And it says the original Wonder Swan, so it's blend black and white. And it's also on the PlayStation Network. So anyone who has a Japanese account, you can buy this. It looks like Moogle is going to show me how to save or list or whatever the hell I used the bid for. Looks like saving. Looks like the kind of window you would get saving. Cancel. Yeah. Looks good. It seems our little Moogle friend has ran off. Nope. By ran off, I mean he dragged us all the way over here. And down we go. Oh, how brave of you to run off. Okay, this part, I've always played past this part I'm starting at. I mean, as in, I know what I'm about to do and stuff. Sadly, I started off really bad in this dungeon, because I didn't realize it until later that the first two items I equipped, which I'll be getting on this dungeon floor if I remember correctly, the first claws and saddle, they're both cursed. And I start wondering why my attack seems to suck. And I'm not really sure how drastically it affected it, because it only shows a -1. But in the end, it didn't do much good. But then now looking back at it, I still was missing a lot even prior to picking those up. Now, to point out one thing I found out, that this game has one thing in common with the Wii version. I'm pretty sure, I don't remember you being capable of keeping your level in Chocobo Dungeon 2. I'm pretty sure it reset, so it became item-based, like most Magic Dungeon games. But in this one, you do keep your level when you leave the dungeon. So, at least when I died at the end, I was still at level 5, and yeah. See, you can see the weird purple icon, the -1. I thought the purple icon just meant it was equipped, but I didn't really pay attention and see the -1 after equipping. Now, in case you're going to go say, well, why didn't you do... If you pause it before that, you see it was an unidentified item, so the only way to find out is to equip it. Since it's the very first item you find, the odds are you're going to automatically equip it. But what were the really bad odds of finding 2 coolest items on the very first floor? Talk about evil. I'm kind of surprised how far I got in the dungeon with these coolest items, considering a lot. Like, I remember the first Dragon Quest Magic Dungeon game on the Super Nintendo. That thing was brutal. But, This is going to start a little annoyance right here, and I'm going to assume these don't repeat when you come back to the dungeon. At least I hope not. At least not until you get to new floors. Every few floors you keep running into the fat Chocobo hiding in a white mage robe. Clearly not a board. After all, he has a beak and kind of looks like feathered hands that sticking out his sleeves, and he is huge. Unless that's Golem with a beak, I don't think that's anyone else. But, yeah, I ran into, like, him 6-7 times. And also, look, you notice there how that monster just spawned on screen? I literally have never saw a Magic Dungeon game where the enemy spawns in the same room on screen, at least. I've never seen the enemy spawn in the same room on screen before. And that happened several times. And I'm not really sure if that was just because if Squaresoft was kind of lazy in the programming, or if they just didn't care or not. I'm not too sure. As far as I'm aware, they've never done a Magic Dungeon game before this, and obviously this is way before they merged with Enix, so for Squaresoft, this was really their first dungeon. Now see that red circle thing now? You see those? Get on them, cause... Come on. Ooba. Level up. I like how you can see those too, and I'm not sure if that's just always on Mac, or random, or item based. Also, I was trying to see if I could speed up time, like in most Magic Dungeon games, where you can eat up your food and gain health, and sadly, there does not appear to be a speed up option in Chocobo Dungeon 1. And I was trying to figure out what the hell the R1 button does. And I haven't tested it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's just for kicking items on the floor. See, I'm trying to figure out if it took turns and such. Also, something else that was bothering me, I wasn't really understanding it, but, unlike the sequels and that in most other Magic Dungeon games, the first Chocobo Dungeon game here did something really odd. Basically, the enemies have a active timer, like in Final Fantasy 4, 6, and that. And when they either cast magic or buy you for they're going to attack and that, or throw something at you, the active timer begins. And there only briefly pauses when you attack, it seems. So, the turns are only turn-based moving, but when it comes to attacking, the enemy has an active timer. And that's really strange. See, I was trying to go like, how the hell is this? Because that was where the life was in Chocobo Dungeon 2. So, it's really odd. I don't think I've ever seen a Magic Dungeon game do something like that. And I can see why they didn't continue that in the sequel. It's a little off-putting. I mean, even back in the Super Nintendo age, there was a lot of Magic Dungeon games, so, you know, it was always a well-established system. I think I got to 4-8, so, if you're hoping for a lot more stuff, there's not too much. It's really a survival game from here, because, as I said, I have 2 cursed items. I didn't really realize it until a little later, which, really did not work in my favor. Now, if you're interested in getting this game, I do have to warn you that there appears to be really no American guide or anything, a translation, a patch, or anything like that. There's a small FAQ that talks a little about the game, but doesn't generally have too much to offer. I mean, even like, there's no there's not a lot of American information on this game, though. The Final Fantasy Wiki page, fan sites, and that just basically briefly talk about just slightly. But the basic gist of the game seems to be the villager gets possessed by the stone, you save the villager at the end of the first dungeon, the Moogle gets possessed, you save the Moogle at the end of the second, and the third dungeon's just replay value. You can get this game for a pretty reasonable price on eBay if you want a physical version like I do. I don't play, I've never experienced emulation with modern CD stuff before. Because I'm playing on a Japanese PS2. I imported one because the switching system, like Drew Wario explains, basically that has compatibility issues, and there were actually a few games I knowingly knew had compatibility issues that I won. So I figured the simplest way was just to get a PS2. Now I got a nice deal on the Red Slim one, so I have the PS1 and the PS2 Abbey both available with no real complications, but it does cost more, and I understand that. Now, see, the most difficult problem in this game is going to be identifying the items, really. I mean, if you ever play a Magic Dungeon game, the basic concept should be all very, very easy to understand. The only thing you're going to have a lot of trouble here is knowing what item does what. Because if you also played Magic Dungeon games before, you should know that usually when you find a random item, it's not auto-identified unless you identify that specific item on the current run through the dungeon. So, basically I'll have to identify items and keep keynotes of the Japanese characters. Here I'm trying to figure out why I can't equip anything, and yeah, apparently when you throw an item, even if you don't hit something, it just vanishes, so keep that in mind. Yeah, at this point, I'm being suspected of something. I haven't admitted it yet, but I was like, what the, like, can I only equip once on a run? But in a bit, I think it was 4 or 5, I actually noticed the -1. And then I went, oh crap, of course. Because I expected there to be like a little toot music going do something. But there isn't. So that's a bit of a shame. What's a blue? You know, the one thing I'm kind of disappointed with this disc though is, I got everything comes with it. It's 2 discs, booklet, and it's kind of remarkable that it's 2 discs. I'm assuming either the second or third dungeon are on the 3rd disc. I guess they didn't have good compacting skills yet at the time. But the cover was so bleh. If you saw the opening, that picture, like, if you just Google it, you can see it. It's just Chocobo coming out of a small hole rock with the title and just all white all around it. It would have been much better if there was actual rock formations all around there. That at least it would be a little more better looking. But it looks so bland this way. But I'm happy to get a copy of this. It's just a small add to the Final Fantasy collection. After all, with the newer ones getting either droll, boring, or more auto-playing, it's nicer to go back to the older ones. Even though, of course, this is a spin-off. Yeah, and I did not expect this to be as long. I was hoping it would be a short one, because usually you either die really quickly, or the game lets your first one be kind of simplistic and you get out of there pretty fast before you go through the horrible one of trying to make it. Yeah, I miss a lot. I don't know if the course is doing that, because I mean, like, as you can tell when it first started, I was missing a lot too before I got the course, but that was level 1, level 4 now, so I don't know if the course is affecting my attacking that much, or if the accuracy just really weaks. Yeah, here we go. Now, there are multiple combining bins in this game. And, a little later, I show where I combined 2 saddles to get rid of the course saddle. I combined the course saddle later on with a normal saddle I found with a magic element, and it became a normal saddle I could take on and off. But I still have the course claws on, even right now. And apparently also, actually on that note, when you die, you keep your equipped items. I don't quite remember if that was in Chocobo Dungeon 2, but I do know you at least lost all your other items in it. So, a little iffy there. But yeah, mostly there's not too much else to see except for my horrible survival to the bitter end. Praying that one of these cards I pick up is a teleport card, which I continue to not find one. Yeah, there's not a lot of guides or anything on here. There's just a small FAQ and that's about it. Which is a bit of a shame. Ugh. I know when I play this next time, I'm probably going to use a turbo control for the attacking some. Hopefully that can be used to your advantage against bosses a bit, though. Now, looking at YouTube, there's very little on this, too. Looks like almost no one's really played this. It's a bit of a shame, because it don't look... Well, it does. Graphically, it looks pretty bad, actually. But, I mean, it plays like a Magic Dungeon game, except for the enemies having a wait timer and an active timer. And yeah, Wills. I don't remember if those were in the sequel. It's been a long time since I played the sequel. But, here I am trying to see if I can do anything with these cards. One of them, I don't know what they did. I believe I selected the Wind Potion and didn't identify it the first time. Later on, I found an identify card and identified it. Yeah, there's mostly just soundtracks and, like, 2 videos. Oh yeah, there's a Wonder Swan video, actually. And it's black and white. It's for the original. Probably works, though. It just graphically would be inferior. But the concept of the game would be simple to port to a 2D. I mean, you couldn't port the game, you just would... You would basically rebuild the game, but the whole concept can carry over into a 2D spec. Magic Dungeon is not something that has to be in 3D. But Zora's Dream did a pretty good job taking advantage of the 3D aspect of the PlayStation 3, giving you the ability to turn the screen, rotate the dungeon there. I've only beaten, I think, three Magic Dungeon games. The first Dragon Quest one, Azor's Dream, and Chocobo Dungeon 2. Though I do have a good number of other ones, but like I said, they can range from simplicity to really, really freaking hard sometimes. Like, Azor's Dream's biggest challenge is getting to the top, not necessarily the boss fight, which is a scripted event. Why I remember Chocobo Dungeon 2 being a lot harder at the end. I remember it being a very close call, and I think the only reason I won is I had a few summons. But it was a pretty good game. I liked the two-player aspect, which is actually, when thinking about it, it's something I wonder if it's in this one. If I remember correctly, Chocobo Dungeon 2 also listed as one player on the back, but it had two player in it. Don't know. The sleep trap. Really annoying. But yeah, I really would have liked it. Like, if you ever seen a Japanese PS2 case, it's so much nicer looking and protective of the games, in my opinion, than the cases we got. It's like they wanted to really be cheap for America, like the cheapest plastic they could get. The European also had cases like these. I might do my next update video on games I get. I'll probably show it a bit and talk about that. I got a European version of what was it called? School Rivals, a fighting game by Capcom with a school theme. And it has the exact same type of case. It's like the Americans get screwed with cheap shit. Like, I know, like, Lost Odyssey had a really nice case for all its CDs in Europe. When we get either a stack thing and one in a sleeve with the book. I immediately hated that when I opened the game. And I believe it was right here where I am that I realized that my items will cost. Yeah, I was curious to wonder what those are. It's a life pack like Half-Life. Yeah, sadly, they're not too much more of you. Lamble. Yeah, I was kind of surprised how long I survived here, because to be honest with these cursed items, I figured I would have died a lot sooner than this. But yeah, I'll have to give a little time and work my way through this one. I think after this I might actually even pick up the Wii version. I'm trying to remember Chocobo Fables, Chocobo's Dungeon, or something like that. I can't remember now. It wasn't bad, it just... it didn't immediately drag me into the game. And I think that probably has a little more to do with the Magic Dungeon formula than the story. Because I think I actually like, especially all the nice reused remixed music. I think that was a really nice idea there. But, I think the whole Magic Dungeon formula is starting to wear on me, perhaps. I mean, it's been a long time since I played one. This and what was that game? The Unlosing Hero versus the Big Bad Evil Man on the PSP. I recently played a little bit of that too, and that one actually sparked some interest because it throws in, it keeps some of the mechanics, but it also throws in a few different mechanics too. Oh well, favorite fat Chocobo. By the way, I failed to remember that you can run into those bookcases and get more items. In case you were wondering about that, or already knew about that. I think it was here I actually remembered that. Or it might be the next account. Or it might have already happened. I didn't actually... I was taking a few drinks here. Oh well. No biggie. Yeah, this is why I fused the saddles to get the core saddle off me. Because it lets you combine them. It became a normal saddle I could equip and disequip. See, look at that. That's so horrible. It's like Peter's right behind me. So unfair. Yeah, it was here I didn't realize that there were multiple alphabets you can go into. With even English characters, which I wished I knew when I named my character. That way I could know when a character was specifically addressing me. But I'll have to use that to identify my different equipment a little better. That one damage is really annoying now. I tell you, nothing sucks more in Magic Dungeon games than to get poisoned. That just really sucks. And yeah, sadly, I don't really have much else to say. I mean, first playthrough of it, and still got 2 more floors to go. I pretty much said all I had to really say. So if you want to keep watching, be free. I'll have a new video up sometime soon, as you probably, if anyone is watching. I know I don't have a lot of viewers. I'm still playing Persona 3, doing the answer, so I probably won't be focusing much on this one for a while, but I'm sure we're gonna play a little bit, especially since you keep your levels, so that's only makes it feel like it's gonna probably be easier. But I guess enjoy the rest of the video if you watch it. Sorry I didn't have enough to say because this first recording was almost an hour. I'm probably gonna split up into 2 parts here. But hope you enjoy it, and hope you look forward to more.